Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Don, and this is the second installment of the Entrepreneurial Mindset YouTube channel. Thank you all very much for tuning in, and thank you for the community of followers that keeps this channel alive and well. Today, we'll be discussing how to best invest your money as a young man in your 20s. You can also read more about this and other topics at www.passiveincomeconnect.com, where we release this content and tons more about investing and building wealth through entrepreneurship and passive income. So, investing can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and investing in your 20s is going to look a lot different than investing in your 50s, 60s, etc. Part of living your best life is having money to enjoy it. And investing is easily the number one thing that will set you apart from your peers later on in life. Now be aware, this is not your typical video about investing. Most videos I've seen on the topic will list what mutual funds to buy, what sort of retirement accounts you need, or what sort of stocks would do well. I'd like to focus on narrowing down what investing should really look like in your 20s. And I would say that there are three primary investments that you should consider to set yourself up for success later in life. And hint, they're not all financial. Number 1, invest in skills. As an entrepreneur, you need to be multifaceted. You need a wide variety of skills to become truly successful. Those skills include marketing, sales, people skills, and computer knowledge, to name a few. Some people are naturally gifted with communications and people skills, but there is no such thing as somebody who is naturally good at marketing. You need to learn that sort of thing. And contrary to popular belief, it is okay to spend money on a class, seminar, or book to help you learn a new skill. There's a lot of free content out there, especially on YouTube, but a lot of great information out there is pay to play. College is a perfect example of that. Don't ever discount the option of taking a college class. And I don't mean getting a degree, but you can actually take a college class for just the knowledge aspect alone. I wanted to build websites for a long time, and I just wasn't able to fully grasp the concept through YouTube videos. I took 2 college classes on the subject, and while I no longer want to build websites for people as a service, I can now build professional websites for myself whenever I need to, instead of paying somebody $1,000 or more every time I need one, which is surprisingly often. In an age where information is abundant and free, a lot of us have gotten into the mentality that if we're paying for information, we're somehow getting the short end of the stick. But as an entrepreneur, you need to take a closer look and ask yourself how you're going to benefit from your money spent. I know people whose businesses have failed because they were so focused on not paying for things. Move away from the mentality that it's bad to pay somebody to do something for you or teach you something. It's great to have the skills to do something well, but not everybody is good at everything, and often the value proposition outweighs the cost. I would gladly pay you $1 million to teach me a life skill if it's going to bring me $2 million worth of business. Skills are so valuable. How do you think colleges convince people to give them $500,000 to show them how to do brain surgery? Those surgeons go on to make that much in a year in many cases. The moral of the story is, invest in skills, not just money, time too. And never forget that when discussing investments, it's not always about the money, and time is always more valuable than money. And I'm going to repeat that. Time is always more valuable than money. Number 2, invest in your retirement. So, of course, I've got to touch on the fundamentals, and that means talking about saving your money for your future self. You knew I was going to say it, but let me explain. Albert Einstein was a pretty smart guy. He studied the forces of nature and inertia and whatnot, and he was famously quoted saying that the power of compound interest is the most powerful force in the universe. Well, That's a big statement coming from a guy who knew a lot about powerful forces. For those unfamiliar with the term, compound interest is the addition of interest to the principal sum of a loan or deposit, or, in layman's terms, interest on interest. It is the result of reinvesting interest rather than paying it out, so that interest in the next period is then earned on the principal sum plus the previously accumulated interest. The earlier you start investing, the more time that compound interest has to accumulate. Let's look at an example. I'll use round numbers to make it a little bit easier, and I'll put it on the screen here. Let's say you're 20 years old right now, and you retire at 65. You put in $100 now, and an additional $100 a month every day until the day you retire exactly 45 years from now. At an average 8% return, which is realistically average over time, you would retire with $504,103.33. That's a lot of money. You've only put in $54,000 and you had 10 times that amount to retire on. But let's say you started investing just 1 year later. 1 year out of 45 years. Doesn't sound like that much. However, you'll now retire on just $465,562.34. Now that's a lot of money still, but waiting just 1 year, just $1,200 missed in the first year, cost you $38,540.99. If you waited until you were 30 to start investing that same monthly $100, your money at retirement is worth only $224,801.11, and that is less than half what you would have if you started 10 years earlier. To get that same $500,000 starting at age 30, you would need to invest $220 per month instead of $100, over double what you would have if you had just started at 20. Now here's where it gets really exciting. What happens if you max out your 401k contributions every year? If you invest the maximum contribution of $18,000 every year starting at age 20, you will retire at age 65 with a whopping $7,516,861.25. So that means if you can save $1,500 every month for 45 years, you will retire $7.5 million richer when you contributed only about $800,000 over your lifetime. Once again, start at 30 instead of 25, and that 7.5 million turns into just 3.5 million. Now, you don't have to max contribute to take advantage of this principle, but consider setting back as much as you comfortably can, because it will pay off in the long run. I contribute almost a quarter of what I earn to my 401k and IRA, and I'm only 23. The advice is generally to do the exact opposite, but remember, it's time that grows your nest egg, so I want to contribute as much as I can early on, and let it taper as I get closer to 30. Number 3, invest in experiences. So now that I've gotten the boring stuff out of the way, I want to discuss another non-traditional investment. Yes, I am very frugal, so it will come to you as a surprise when I tell you that you should be spending more money on things that make you happy. I stand behind that statement, though I ought to explain. I don't mean blow your paycheck partying, but do find a hobby. Find an escape. Find something that makes you happy, and do it. It's going to cost money. It's going to cost a lot of money depending on what it is. Keep it within reason, but feel free to set aside a portion of your money you make and dedicate it towards something that you enjoy doing. You don't have to be a money-pinching robot to be successful, especially when you're 20 years old. Just focus on living your daily life frugally and using that money to invest in yourself. You might be a foodie. Nice restaurants cost a lot of money. I've been to restaurants where the check was over $500. But here's the thing. If you're going out to lunch every day with your friends to TGI Fridays, you're spending $20 every time you go out. Cut that down to once a week, and there's your dinner for two. Being an entrepreneur is all about money and what you do with it. Maximizing the worth of your money plays into this big time. Would you rather spend $100 on dinner, drinks, and a movie with your friends, or spend it on a Gucci t-shirt? What's great too is that in many instances, you can monetize your hobbies as well. I love hiking. I love the outdoors. I spend a lot of time driving to scenic locations to take in the views. And when I go hiking, I take my camera and snap a bunch of photos to later post onto Shutterstock. I can't say I make big money with my photos, but I have enough posted on my account that it'll at least pay for my gas there and back, which is usually about a full tank in my truck. The point is, invest in yourself and what makes you happy. If you invest in your skills, your happiness, and your future self, you will have a head start towards living a fulfilling and successful life. Also remember that investments are not always monetary, and that your time is always more valuable than money. And that wraps up today's video. If you found value in today's message, hit me with a thumbs up and consider subscribing as well. Also, click the link below to check out other ways to build wealth through investing at PassiveIncomeConnect.com. We release videos every Saturday, so make sure to hit the notification bell and stay up to date. As for now, this is Don, signing out. See you next week.